Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, I'm still at home, but I just wanted to touch base with you. We are doing Wit and Wisdom Lesson 5. So let's get busy. Our focus question, remember, is how is wind a powerful force? So that's the question we have been trying to answer all throughout our lessons up till this point. Today, we are going to dig a little bit deeper into our Feel the Wind book for the words and the illustrations. So we're going to look at both those two things today to see if we can understand a little bit more. So in this lesson, we're going to dive into a deeper analysis of both illustrations and words in the text. Sorry about that, guys. That was my dogs barking. First, we're going to analyze the two illustrations from Feel the Wind by discussing how each depicts a different sensory experience. Sensory, what do you think about sensory words? What are sensory words? Remember our five senses of seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touching. Okay, so we're going to be using those to help describe the wind. We are also going to examine, let's see here, words and illustrations and Feel the Wind and discover how both can provide information that works to help us better understand the text. And then we're going to use all this knowledge that we got and we're going to examine both words and illustrations in a new text about hurricanes as we gather evidence for our mini research project. All right, so let's get busy. What I would like to start off with is doing our fluency check-in. So I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so Feel the Wind, Arthur Dorros. Wind is moving air. Air is what we breathe. It is everywhere around us, even though we can't see it. We can't see air and we can't really see wind, but we can see the wind move things. Wind pushes clouds across the sky. Wind flutters leaves of trees and makes ripples on the lake. All right. So from this point, we are going to move over into our video. Let's see if I can get that to come up now. There we go. I'm going to make it big screen and I am going to hit play. So here we go. All right, we're good. Okay, what do you think the boy sees? Well, if it was me, I can see the curtains blowing, right? How does that make you feel? Kind of scary, right? Because normally when you're in bed at night, you shouldn't see things moving around, right? And what's he hearing? He's hearing sounds like howling. Woo. So he's got a lot of sensory going on, doesn't he? He can see the curtains moving. He can feel the breeze probably, and he can hear this sound that sounds like a wild animal. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Great. Hmm. That heated air. Mhm. And I did. Hot air. Cold air. Mm-hmm. Cold air from the cold. Mm-hmm. Yes. Hmm. All right, so let's talk about what did we learn from the words here on these pages? Well, I learned that people have used the power of moving air for thousands of years. I also learned that the wind pushes the blades of a windmill to turn them to help lift water, to grind grain, saw wood, and make electricity. That was a lot of information, wasn't it? Yes. Okay, let's see what she says. All right. So what we just talked about, you need to make sure you write that down in your journal. Okay. So let's think about what did we just say? The wind pushes the blades of the windmill and it causes water to be lifted. It causes the wood to saw. It helps make electricity and it helps grind grain. All right. So think about this. The power of moving air has been around for thousands of years because that's what people use. Great job, guys. Think about that. What did the illustration show me? Well, in the book, it showed us the wind using a windmill. It showed grinding grain. It showed sawing wood and making electricity. The illustrations over here with the little boy sleeping, we saw the curtains moving, didn't we? And with the earth, with the hot air and the cold air, we saw the cold air being brought in and the hot air being taken out to make wind. So the illustrations really helped us understand the information being given in the text. All right, we just discussed it. I think we're good. Wow. Yes. Okay, friends, make sure you're listening and writing down, what does the wind do during a hurricane? Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I heard that the wind in a hurricane can take off the roof of a house. What did you hear? Okay, now let's think about, what can hurricane winds do? We know that it can whip up the water, meaning that it made the water rise up, right? We know that it can tear houses down and that it can tear off roofs. We also know that it can push the water onto land, right? pushes water onto land. Okay, I hope you got a few of those on your organizer. Sorry, friends. Okay, damage. Okay, I can see that. Um, it could go. Okay. No, because there's nothing like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, all right, friends. So we are done with that portion of the lesson. So now let's go ahead and deep dive, and we are going to talk about nouns and verbs again. So we remember that a noun is a person, place, or thing. And we've talked a little bit about verbs, but a verb is something that shows an action. And in a sentence, the noun and the verb have to match up. Okay? So, what I want us to do is I've put some sentences over here on a board. Let me move my things around, maybe. And I'm going to, I know my fancy moving things around. All right, so if I move it back, maybe you can see it better. I know it may be a little dark. All right, so hopefully you can see that. It says, let me see if I can close the blind and if that will help. I'm hoping that might help. All right. It says that first sentence, the clouds are in the sky. Now, the noun there is clouds, and the verb there is are. In this sentence, does that make sense? The clouds are in the sky. Yes, the verb and the noun, they fit together because the clouds are plural, meaning the verb is singular. Let's look at the second sentence. The clouds brings rain. Now, does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Because our noun is plural, that means our verb should be singular, meaning just the one, okay? So our verb here, brings, should it have the S on it? No. So we're going to take that S off. Now let's read this sentence. The clouds bring rain. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yes. Let's look at our next sentence. The winds blows in the storm. Well, let's think about this. Winds is plural and the verb is plural there. What if I take off the S on wind and make it singular? The wind blows in the storm. Ooh, that makes sense, doesn't it? It sure does. All right, let's look at the last sentence. The tree sways in the wind. That one does make sense because the tree is singular and sways is plural. Great. All right, so I'm going to bring you back over to me for the second part of it. So we know our verbs and our nouns have to match up, making them present tense, okay? Like it's happening now. So remember, your verb and your noun have to work together. All right? Have to work together to make your sentences make sense. So what if I put a few sentences up here on my board? Let me erase here. I've decided it's kind of hard to do things at home. I like my whiteboard at school. It's a lot harder here. Okay, so I am going to put you back around here, hopefully. All right, so I'm going to give you this sentence. Hot air. Now, I want to put rise, okay? Rise. Hot air rise. Does that make sense? Hot air rise? Not really. So how could I make it make sense? Hot air what? Rises. So what would I do to rises? Add an S. Okay. What about this one? Clouds blank rain. And we're going to use the verb bring. Okay. We're going to use the verb bring. So let's think about this. Clouds bring rain or clouds brings rain? Would be bring because this is already plural. That means this would be singular, meaning now. Okay. All right. And one more. The cloud blank rain. We're going to use that same word bring again in our sentence. So the cloud bring rain or the cloud brings rain? It's brings. We're going to add the S on it because this is singular. So we need to add the S here to make it the plural form of the verb. The clouds brings rain. Okay. All right. So Make sure this sits there so it doesn't fall. All right, guys. So we talked a little bit about singular and plural. Singular nouns need to match a verb with an S at the end, and a plural noun needs to match a verb with an S at the end. All right. So just remember that when you are writing your sentences, that your nouns and your verbs need to match up. All right, guys, that is the end of lesson today. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you back again tomorrow. Bye, my friends.